Good morning and a massive warm welcome back to the Carnation Crafts Gifted Christmas. We are on part 2. You may realise that somebody's missing and that I am not indeed Dave Bradford. Dave had a phone call and unfortunately he's had to go home. So you're stuck with me for the next 2 shows. I do apologise, but we will go demo heavy, so you hopefully get to see lots of the things that you want to see during the shows. So my apologies, but you are stuck with me. So we're going to have a really quick look through the boards after we've gone through the housekeeping, so to speak, and then we'll start having a look at some finished samples and get through some of those boards. Now, just to let you know, the card shape, the frost panel card shape, I believe it's limited. Is it gone or is it limited? There's very little left of it. It just went nuts. And so 230607. Go on.
There's one left.
Oh, there's one left. First, fingers first, fastest fingers first. There's only one, and it's 230607 for that frost panel card shape that you all love, that allows you to build and create beautiful aspects where you've got these side panels coming through that you can just tuck those florals into. It went absolutely nuts this morning. So just to let you know, one left. I think that's probably going to go pretty fast. It will be fastest fingers first. We knew it was going to be popular and it has just... It's gone a bit nuts. Good morning, Mandy. If you can hear something tapping, that is Miss Taz losing her temper with a mouse in the corner. Not a real mouse, the one on a computer. Good morning, Carol Hart. Good morning, Carol Vincent. Good morning, Annie. And I think this is moving fast, so I'll just leave that there for a second. Right, let's have a really quick look through. I just want to talk to you about the actual main bundle because that is also selling extremely fast with good reason. That's 230601. You've got a show price today of $107.99, but in order to get that, you are going to need to use the code CCGC10. That is Charlie, Charlie, Golf, Charlie 10, all in capitals at checkout, and that will allow you to get through and take a 10% discount. If you don't put that on, it is going to come through a normal price of $119.99, which is the show price. For UK P&P, don't forget to add in your perfect papers because they are absolutely extraordinary this morning. They are a beautiful set. You saw us go through them in much greater detail yesterday. If you want to recap on that Facebook Live, it's also on YouTube, I think, so you can grab that and have a look through it. Lots of you saying, hope everything is okay with Davey B. He's fine. It's obviously his information, so I'll leave it with that, but he couldn't unfortunately stay for the rest of the day. So yeah, 230601 for that big bundle. And you've seen us go through, it's extraordinary, right? Those beautiful curled corners, that bursting with joy die set, which is just incredible. The lovely little animals that all come together in sharing the moment, and it's a massive set of them, obviously. Same with season celebrations where you're getting all the beautiful florals. You've got your beautifully wrapped, the ribbon. We're going to look at that in a bit more detail in demos today, and your cold snap corner as well. Lots and lots going on in this collection. It's just glorious. For those of you who are sitting there going, oh, why are you doing Christmas in June? Because the whole of the crafting industry does Christmas in June. Just the way it is, and it's so everybody can get their dies and their collections ready for making cards over the next few months. So let's have a look at those boards. Hey Mags Brown, hey Christine Brown, how you doing? So we have got this here. Miss Taz is telling me to move all of the things, but I've got a big splodge of glue over here. There we go. Right, so this is your bursting with joy. We did this in depth this morning, so you've seen full demos. If you're wanting to know how to use it, please do go to those previous shows, that previous show, and have a look. But just to let you know, it creates these beautiful torn edges for you, and there's lots of different ones to choose from, lots of different ways of bringing it together. You can see this is the big square one that you've got here with those torn edges just sitting. Lots and lots of different ways, also little corner edges. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Morning, Humberto. Did you manage to go back to sleep? I take it not. So lots of ways to play with that. So this is what this is. You've got the diamond, I showed you that one. We've got the circle, you've got the square, you've got the tiny pieces, and you've got your little edges and corners that you can use. It's incredible. And the way it starts to come together is just extraordinary. Just being able to do, it's not really for Christmas. I know they're saying it's for Christmas. It's not. You can use it any time. What are you laughing at? Like a puppy, yeah. It's not just for Christmas. You can use it all year round for all your different cards. Some of those where you've got your florals, I just think it's going to be insanely good. Then we have got your beautifully wrapped, which is just wow. It's the artwork. Just a note on that, the artwork that you get in the colorways here, you've got the red and the gold. You can't get that until tomorrow. So what Carnation have done, and they may do going ahead, I think it's a really good idea, is holding back the vignettes, the artwork. So that on the day of launches, because we get so busy on launch day, when everyone's trying to download the vignettes, it's that sort of slows the server down. So rather than put that in as an issue, everybody gets a chance to buy what they want to buy, which means everybody gets a fair shot. Then you can download your vignettes tomorrow, and that's the day your dies would arrive if you were buying them today anyway. So no looking getting any sleep, the sun is out. You'll have to catch up later, Humberta. So you've got those, you've got that beautiful tag there as well, and that gorgeous little finishing sort of string ribbon, which I love very much. We go on from there to your florals, which are just stunning, right? There's something about these. They're a great shape. They're a great size. The colour's extraordinary. I love the fact that we get the little sideways ones and we get the full round one. Same again with the two whites here as well. You've got that gorgeous pine cone, those beautiful berries which come in the red and the white. You've seen me using those in the earlier demo because it all comes together, and just to show you that, you can see that here where you've got your reds and your white berries coming through. You've then obviously got your holly, you've got your two sentiments as well. So a ton of stuff to play with there. My advice, which is what I did with these, I just cut loads of them out and they're all sitting on my desk ready to just pick and choose as I was making the cards. Made my life a lot easier. Then we've got our little seasonal buddies here, which are just cute as butter and sharing in the moment. You've got the gorgeous fox, we've got the beautiful robin, and you've got the polar bear. They're probably the main three that people are really looking to in this collection. Certainly him, I think people just bowled over with him. No, reason why you wouldn't be. Absolutely stunning. But then you've got your little rabbit, the little mouse, you've got your presents, a scarf for all of the bigger animals, little table, little stool for them, presents down here, bits to decorate your trees with. You've got all your little sort of slimline presents there as well, a little glass of something, and you've got your kind of bunched up wrapping paper down there as well. So lots of finishing touches for your card. And then we have got your cold snap corners, which are just stunning, and they're such a joy to work with. And the reason that they're so useful is because we get to be able to look at the corners, work out what's going on, and then build in your shape and dimension. So if you've got one up here and one down here, you can have that gorgeous diagonal in the middle. You can have it frame around. If you're doing an 8x8, you would be able to have all four of those corners taken care of, and they're absolutely stunning. So you can see it's a whacking great big collection that we're looking at for Gifted Christmas. It doesn't finish entirely there. There are three more that you can buy, which are separate to the main bundle. I will show you the boards for those, but as I say, one of them has pretty much sold out. Oh, it's sold out. Are they going to do an extended, do you know, Miss Taz? We're going to set up an extended for those who want it, because it is extraordinary, massively popular this morning. And this is what it is. You've got this beautiful card shape. You'll see me working with this a lot through demos, but also we get this panel, and this panel creates a kind of tube with which we can weave in ribbon, and it looks really, really effective. Let me just show you this one. See how we start to weave in that ribbon, and then once we've woven in that ribbon, that gets stuck to the card, and you can start to fill that with florals. So it all comes together very, very beautiful. So we go from that to that to that. Really easy to do. That's the piece for your paper ribbon if you want to use it. And then you've also got your little bow as well. So super, super cute. No wonder that one was going so insanely fast. So the number 4 is 230607. Extended dispatch, $39.99, $2.95 UK P&P, and they'll dispatch that from the 26th of June. So not that far away at all. So if you want to get your hands on that, my advice is go as quick as you can, because obviously it's going to, I think, probably going to sell out again. So just grab it while you can. It is just wonderful to work with. You're going to see this in demo in a minute. We're going to be doing that today. This beautiful tree, putting up the tree is just gorgeous and very clever. It's not what you think it is, because this little tree, you can pull it up, and as you pull it up, it extends in height. So you can have it as a smaller piece, or you can lift it and it will be an elongated tree. Very, very graceful, very, very beautiful. So you'll see that as we go through demo. You've got all your ornaments that you can decorate your tree with as well. And you've got that beautiful kind of, what do you call it? Like a festoon. I'm going to call it a festoon because that's the best word I can come up with, but I love it. It's almost like a crown, isn't it? What? You were looking at me all...
Mantelpieces on the magic fireplace.
Ooh, swags on the fireplace. Yeah, that would look nice. This would be ace for the whole of this, bringing this together with comfort of home, the fireplace. You could make a complete room, couldn't you? It'd be absolutely beautifully done. And then we've got, I love this. I'm really, really smitten with this. This is the debossing panel, which is called Crisp Winter Debossing Plate. And it's got a really lovely deboss on it. You can see it all coming through. Not really Christmassy at all, but isn't it stunning? Really nice. It's really, it feels nice as well. There's something about it. So that is your big debossing plate. That, again, I don't think that that smacks of Christmas at all to me. It just smacks of a really beautiful textured background. And actually what's funny, because I don't, you know, obviously with Carnation, they don't really bring out embossing plates and stuff. So most of my Carnation cards are done just on plain cardstock. And when I started using that, if I would go from using it to then making one without it, it felt naked somehow, because it gives such a beautiful aesthetic to the eye when you're looking at the cards. There's something about it that's just really lovely to have. You'll find that on the number 230608, show price today of £24.99. If you buy that singly on its own, you will find that there's a £2.95 P&P on it, because it's not over the £50 threshold. Anything over £50 on the C&C website at any time has got free P&P, which is always good to know. Now, Miss Tiz Taz has been doing some maths in the background, and she's worked out that if you want to buy the show, as it's called in the trade, which is where you get everything that we've spoken about, so your 3 upsells, the main bundle, and your perfect papers, that's going to come in at £196.16, which you can divide into 4 payments of £49.04, and that would be with ClearPay. Or you can do 3 payments for PayPal Pay in 3, and that's £65.39, which is really good going, isn't it? Nice to have the options to break those payments up. It just helps. So, have I done the housework, Miss Tiz Taz? Should we look at some finished samples?
Yeah.
So, we're going to have a look at some of these. I won't show them all. We did do some of them yesterday as well, but I will go through a few, and then we're going to get to demo, because I want to show you some card shapes and how they all sort of align. But I love this one. Isn't it pretty? Those gorgeous backing papers coming through, all the little creatures sitting. So we've got all of the creatures there. They're all having a lovely time. You can see those log panels, everyone's sitting down, having the best time. They've got the little feast in front of the polar bear there, and you've got all your florals coming through. So it's a really good example of using all aspects really of the collection, but those beautiful edges. I love those, and that is from the Bursting with Joy, where we can just make those gorgeous, gorgeous fold over panels. Just incredibly useful, I think. I love this little chap. He's so happy. I love that card. There's something about that card. It's just cute, isn't it? Really sweet. You've got the debossed plates at the back. You've got the beautiful Robin wearing his scarf. And then you've got that gorgeous bow with those florals. So lots of elements, again, coming together. But when we start to see how you can create those corners with that bow and those florals, and how that comes together with that gorgeous texture behind, you can see how it plays really nicely, one with the other, because it just works, bringing in the gold and the red as well and layering those panels up. Another gorgeous example of using that piece that comes with the card shape. Are you all right, Miss Taz?
Yeah,
Are you trying to cover my glue up for me so I don't get everything in it?
Yeah.
I'll shove it this way. If I put that, no, because then I'll make a worse mess. So you've got him here. So you've got the lovely kind of tummy that sits. You've got your gorgeous greens coming through with those sentiments. The sentiments are stunning, really beautiful. And then that obvious gorgeous shape at the side. Han says, hello from Denmark. It's a wonderful collection. I missed the first part, so I have to go back and find it. The animals are so cute. They really are. If you go onto YouTube, it'll say Gifted Christmas Part 1, and you can watch it on there. There's lots of tutorials on there. There's only one demo. We'll be going more demo heavy in this one, but tutorials on how to use the elements. Pauline Ellerington says, morning everyone, quick visit while we have a drink and cake, then off out delivering free magazines, no rest for the wicked. Anyway, I'll catch up later on YouTube. It'll all still be here for you, Pauline E. So you enjoy your walk out. Couple more finished samples and we are going to get on with demo. I love this. I love the way we're just using the plain white at the sides. There's something very effective about that. And then just bringing in those elements. So as always, when it's a card shape from Carnation, they tend to have the area that you can make an aperture with, and that sits there very proudly in the center. And that card shape, there's no wonder it's sold out. It's extraordinary, and you're going to see that in demos too. Couple more cards. Look, the clean, the pared back. Doesn't have to be busy. It can be very pared back, and then you've got those gorgeous elements here from those cold snap pieces that give us that texture. And similar in vein to that. Oh, they'd be nice side by side, Miss Taz. That'd be nice if it was a big card, wouldn't it? Really pretty. Absolutely stunning. And then one more with those corners. You can just see it coming. That's a really good example of how that works. Really nice way of looking at it and going, okay, that's bursting open, and that's the whole point, right? Gifted Christmas, that the paper, the wrapping from those gifts is bursting open, and we get to see the little scenes that go on behind it. But that looks like a children's fairy tale to me, a children's storybook. It's so cute. So I'm going to go into demo. We're going to have a look at 3 different types of cards. So you saw the one that we did earlier in the show, in the first show. I'm going to do something slightly different in this one, but I will keep showing you this one as well, so you can see, keep seeing your inspiration for different cards, because I think it's nice to have a choice of what you want to see and what you want to do. So I'm just going to go open my crisp packet. This Taz is determined that it's me munching on crisps when I'm opening these, and we're just going to pull some stuff out of here and hope I don't tear everything. The problem with doing 8x8 cards is the bags are never quite big enough. Let me just cut through that and it'll be easier. There we go. Make life a little simpler, and then we can get on and get some elements out of here. So this is what we would call, I want a better word for it. I keep saying busy. I don't mean busy, but it's a more full card. Let's talk about it that way. We're going to do a fuller card, and then we're going to do some paired back cards. So we're going to have a look at all different types here. So I haven't actually scored that. I'm just going to leave it for now. I'll just do the front of the card. So we're using an 8x8, right? And the reason I love 8x8 is what it gives us is the chance to play on a big canvas, big surface area where we can look at those clean lines and we can bring in. The reason Carnation is so extraordinary is if I was to take one vignette, one piece of artwork, we discussed that in the earlier show, and I was to place that in the center, I can just now put a sentiment on there. I'm quite happy. I can start to add in some color elements, and they will make all of the difference. And we start to build. So we're building up focus and we're building up shape, and it's really easy to do with Carnation because they give us all the tools to do it. So lots and lots of different ways of, you know, bringing it all through, and I love that about it. Yep, I've got lots of pieces down here, Miss Taz. Now, mats and layers. Mats and layers, always, always really important. We're going to work with them on here. Those perfect papers, how beautiful are they? Really stunning. Lots of people saying good morning to myself and Dave. I'm afraid Dave had to go home unexpectedly after the last show, so it is just me you're stuck with. I do apologise. Normal service will resume when we next launch in the studio. So placing down, push and pull. I love that. Really cute, isn't it? Now I'm going to cool it down. So we're going to bring in some of that white cardstock. So just to give it a lovely framing, I'm going to say that that is roughly about correct. Push and pull. Keep going. You never have enough layers. I'm going in with some gold. Isn't that pretty? That's a Crafter's Companion Gold. You can find that on the Carnation Crafts website. It's a very beautiful green gold that I'm using. So it just complements the green behind. Pretty as a picture. Place and pull. And then we have that. So the reason that I'm doing, you can see I've cut those to exactly the same size. So I've measured out the big square, which is from Bursting for Joy, and I have placed the same size on the gold underneath it. I haven't put foam tape on. I'm not going to raise it. I could raise it if I so chose and create like a shadow box aperture, which would give me the lift. It would give me the shadow, and you know I love me my shadows. However, sometimes there's more value in leaving it flat, and it depends what you're putting inside it. So if I'm going to really fill it, which I am in this one, and I'm then going to put stuff maybe around the outsides of things, maybe making it on foam tape and raising that's going to then be too much because I'm asking for the eye to do too much. So I'm going to leave it flat. I can pull out those edges, and I probably will, but as far as foam tape's concerned, I'm not playing. So what we're going to do is we're going to find an applicator and just pop some glue down. Keep that sort of flush to the paper below it. I'll just put this down because I think that other glue is probably a little too dry in the heat. And we're just going to take small amounts. I don't want a lot, just little corner aspects. Just here. Now what that means is, because I haven't got much glue going on, it means I can still lift those elements, and if I need to, I can add more glue later. But all I'm doing at the minute is just a lot in space. So placing my corners and pushing down, okay? Now, what I can do without the need for foam tape is create shadows by lifting these pieces. So if I just fold that back, like I say, if I need to add more glue, I certainly can, which I think I'll need to. It's so hot in the studio that the glue behaves differently. I place that there. Now, what that's going to do is give me a small shadow point. What I don't want to do is just lift one, because that looks like it's wearing a flat cap. So I'll need to raise more than just one. I'm going to have to balance that. I don't want to have a flat cap appearance. I'm just going to pop that on there. So that'll do, I think, just while I'm getting myself into place, and then I can focus on adding more as and when I need to. So just place down. You can obviously fold these before you make your card, no problem. And just push. And now I know where I'm working, where is the area that I want to work in, and I can choose later on whether I want to push those back, whether I want to curl them, what I want to do with them. But I want to talk to you about the Christmas tree. Now the Christmas tree sits this high. Look how sweet that is, isn't it gorgeous? Now a card made just with that is extraordinary because it's beautiful, but it's clever. So if I take the stem and I take the star and I pull, can you see how as we go through I can separate and I can stretch and I can pull up. Now if I then take those elements and I make a curvature on them and pull them round, I get this beautiful shaped dimension that has height. So what I can do is glue the star, pull it through, glue the stem and stretch it as high as I want it to be, within reason obviously, and you can see that dimension that comes through. Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't that the cleverest thing? Really sweet. Now what I could do if I wanted to as well is fill those with pin flare. It's up to me what I want to do with it. I'm not going to do that at the moment. I'm just going to curve those round because I don't need to have that much dimension on this particular card, because I'm going to add in other elements too. I know I want it to be over here, and that's where I'm going to place it. So I'm going to place some glue onto this point at the bottom for now. I can add more, but I just need to get it into place, and then on the star, because they're the two sticking points that I want to focus on first. I know I want this to be down here. I know I want the star to be further up here. So if I place the two, look at the shadow play. When I raise my hand, look at the shadows. Isn't that stunning? Really pretty. And I can just move this around. If I want to glue edges, I can. It's up to me now what I do. I'm in control of it. I've got it where I want it to be, and I can play and I can shape it out as I go through. But I just think that's such a clever, clever piece of engineering, really gorgeous to use. Now, polar bears. Polar bears are very happy to be sat on Christmas morning, and he's going to sit right at the bottom because I need a grounding device. Now, as far as this grounding is concerned, I can put some presents there, I can put some stuff around the tree, so I don't need to worry about it being as low. If I want to, I can shut that down slightly and have it sat so I can hide any edges if you don't want to use specific grounding devices. That's another trick that you can use. So you can put it in and pull down. It's up to you how you want to play with it. I want to shape him out though. I want him to have his full tummy and I want to have his full facial features. I'm going to shape out his thighs as well, just to bring in that really beautiful difference. So the first point I'm going to work on is his tummy here. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to work around his paws, just bringing that in. So I'm treating each element separately. Then I'm going to take his paws. Now for the inside of his paws, I'm just going to use the smaller ball tool just there. Then I'll take the larger ball tool and start working around his feet, just around the edge, onto his thigh. Now this thigh, where it's a bigger surface area, I'm going to start on the edge, work through, pull it round where Nick and the team have put the artwork, the shading, and then work to the centre of that thigh. And I'm putting a gentle pressure on there because I'm working on a big surface area. Then I'm going to take his arms. So I'm going to pull this round here and bring that through. And then this one around here. Now, I want to do his tummy. So because I've broken the fibres here and I've broken the fibres in his arm, it now gives me freedom to play with the breaking on his tummy. So I can pull that jump around just to give him that beautiful doming on his tummy. And then we can work with his face a little bit. Now, I'm not going to do too much on the face. What I want to make sure is that his nose is done. So I'm just going to focus on that. Because I can't break the fibres first, well I could, but it's easier for me to do it this way. I'm very gently burnishing with the ball tool. I don't know if you'll be able to really see that, but that burnishing motion, instead of me just pushing, I'm just burnishing. So I'm rubbing back and forth, and that is going to allow his nose just a slight protrusion. You can just see it there. And that just gives it the idea of kind of having that sort of animal snout that comes out without it poking or bending. It's just that idea of the snout, and that's what the burnishing will give you on the paper. So it's a nice little trick to do. Then I'm going to pull his head forward, fill him with pin flare, and we're going to play. So lots on his tummy. I want him to be high, but I can't just do his tummy because he'll be imbalanced. So I've got to do the same on his face. And then I can place him. And I'm going to place him down here. I don't want him too low. I can ground device him if I need to elsewhere, but I'm quite happy with him sitting just at that baseline as if he's just bursting again out of that picture. Okay, really cute. Now I need to decorate my tree, and I've got some elements here to decorate that with. Let's get all my bits and pieces here. I don't know if I put many on, I'm just putting a couple on just to give it the idea of it being decorated. Now obviously if I was making this at home and not in demo time when I'm taking up your time, I would be putting a lot more ornaments on, but because we have limited time for demo, I'm not going to obviously fill it, but you would at home. You can get loads and loads of little ornaments on here to make it really full and sort of sumptuous, or you can have it more naked and stripped back. It's entirely up to you. I'm just doing some down the center to give the visual point, the visual distinction of it being decorated, because I'm going to put other stuff in as well, so I'm not too worried. So this is going to go down the bottom. It's pretty much how I do my real Christmas tree. Do any of you have specific colours you do your Christmas trees at home? I always do mine in red, white and gold. Now I've got a little element here, and obviously that is that kind of festoon, that swag. What you can do with this is push this over the tree to create that beautiful kind of idea of the festooning, if you like, and you can put that elsewhere. You can do lots of those going through. It looks really, really cute and really, really pretty. I think what I might do, if I steal that back, as it's stuck, it might have stuck by now. I think what I'm going to do is just place that over at the bottom. We'll have a little bit of thicker decoration at the bottom. Shape it, rock it, and I'll go from there to there on the tree just to give it the idea, and I'll put another little Christmas decoration in just so you're getting more of a visual of the tree being fuller. I'm not worried about the tree being full, but I think it's nice for you to see the visual at home. I don't know if that's fully stuck down. I will test that theory in a second, and we'll just put one more decoration. We'll put it somewhere random where I've got more space, but you can see that. Right, okay, let me just make sure that's stuck, because what I don't want is it just jumping down. So that can go there. See how the gold plays with the colour? Really pretty. There's something really sweet about using gold. Right, let's fill things up. So I want some stuff around the bottom of the tree. I've got my presents here. Now, because the tree sits forward, I need to lift on my presents. This is where pin flare will become your best friend. Pin flare is going to lift and raise. Now, I can pull this back because I haven't stuck all of the elements down, so that I can feature it where I want it to be. Now what I want to do is make sure it doesn't go too far over, but I'll tuck it into here. You see how I get that lift and that dimension? The shadows coming underneath. Really, really pretty. Now on this point I'm going to put a lower gift. It's going to be a much smaller gift. So I will place this one down here. Linda Poland says her tree is full of decoration she's painted herself. I love that. It's multicoloured with loads chucked at it. Okay, now I'm happy with that where it is. I'm just going to make sure that's got some adhesion to it, and then I'm going to take that and just push it slightly back over, which is what I want. I want that peaky, that hidey hole coming through. I've now got this little table for my polar bear to be sat enjoying, and I'm going to put this down. I've used foam tape, but notice I've got nothing here. It's because I'm possibly going to tuck in behind it. So just where his little feetsies are, I'm just going to tuck that. He's ready to tuck in next to his Christmas tree. He's all very excited about his Christmas dinner. And you see, by putting that on foam tape, it makes the perspective look that the table is well and truly in front of the polar bear, okay? So it makes sense. Now, would it be Christmas if he didn't have a little friend joining him? I don't think so. So he is going to have his little buddy. I'm not shaping his buddy out because it's going to get tucked under. And he's just going to be looking in awe and wonder at his polar bear friend. Because who wouldn't? That's how I look at Miss Tiztaz when she's telling me stories. It's not. Look at his little face. Now, naked. I'm very naked in the one corner, and I need to balance it. I will be straight and say, if this was a white cardstock and here and not gold, I would happily leave that exactly where it is. But because it's gold, and because I've got the shadow play going from it, and I've got that white topper, I'm going to need to fill that corner a little bit. Otherwise it's going to look very, because it reflects, the gold reflects. So because we're reflecting light back at the person who's looking at the card, the naked point looks much more naked than if it was plain white. So I'm going to fill those tones in a little bit. Now I'm going to play with it first because it may come to the point where I think it's too busy with it. And if that's the case, I don't have to do it. But I've got a bow here. Now the bow can be just sat as it is, or I can add in the tails if I wish. It doesn't matter, it's up to you what you want to do. I think what I would do, and I'd be inclined to do, is just place that in there. Now I can put those tails in, but see how I start to get way too busy. It's too much going on. Your alternative to that is to shut those down now that I've got my little scene working, and put the bow up here, which is probably what I would do, and put the bow there and have the tails coming that way. It gives me something to play with. It gives me sort of an element that I can use. There's an extra area. It's like a little secret hidden part, which I love. So I'm going to place this in, my little bow coming together. So I'm just going to pair those pieces in like so. This corner is my corner that I'm going to place the bow. I don't mind those ones sticking up, but I need to borrow this corner. So I'm just going to make sure that this point now is fully glued. Now that I've got everything where I need it, I can commit and get that fully laden. Same down here, all sorted. and now I can commit to everything. Jacqueline, I like the bottom part down, giving you the ledge to fill the presents with, right? Isn't it cute? You could fill a whole ledge with presents there. Mince pies, all the different variants. I know, was it the Christmas last year or the year before where they had the gifts for Santa and there was all the mince pies and all the glass of milk and stuff. So I'm going to place this now. You're looking confused, Miss Taz. Can you remember which one it was?
No, I'm not looking confused, I'm thinking.
Oh, you know that's dangerous, yeah. Taz, when you start thinking. Let that settle. Because these 2 points are trying to push away from each other, you will need to let the glue dry properly, otherwise it's just going to keep putting the bow away from it. It'll pop. So you just got to make sure that it's sort of set before you commit any further to it. And these little tails you can just place together, and you can have them that way coming down, or if you choose you could do it that way. They're not really designed for this, they're designed for the card, which I'm going to show you in a second, because there are other tails for it, but I like the chunky chunk of the tails, so it depends which way you want to play. But I'm going to place it this way so they just tail out, and I think over each side is pretty as a picture. And this is how we build those fuller cards, rather than the more pared back clean white simple cards. So I'm just pushing in with those, making sure I'm roughly where I want to be. I don't mind a slight overlap, but I don't want it too much. Look how pretty they are. The artwork is clever. Remember, you'll be able to get your vignettes tomorrow. Everything will be on the website then. It's just for now, just to slow everything down on that website while everybody manages to check out. There we go. Now I've got a little bit of glue there. You can cover that with a little jewel or a little gem, and you've got that beautiful bow line coming in. Probably fan those out a little more, but you've got something to play with. The other thing is, with your bows, if you are canny and you take a pokey and you start to just roll, you'll be able to get a really gorgeous little framing out. I don't know if it's too late to pull that, but for me, if you frame those out a little further, it would just fan a little more. But I love the idea of bow lines going across. I love the idea of keeping just a little bit of white space, not much, especially when you're using gold. Remember, when we're using gold, that flashback of colour that's going to come at the viewer is a lot. So if it's a white space and it's on white, that's going to be a visual relief. If it's a white space on gold, so a gold space, you're really pushing back. It's like having sunlight in a mirror that's streaming at your face. So it can be a bit garish. So if we can just cover that slightly, you'll get a much more muted beauty point on it. So it's one way to look at it. But I want to do some pared back stuff. What I want to do is actually look at those ribbons in more detail, because I think they're just stunning, and they're a really massive boon. And again, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think they're for Christmas. I don't think a lot of this is all simply just Christmas. I think brought together it creates the most stunning winter elements. But I don't think they're all for Christmas cards. There is some extraordinary ways of using these as gifts. So we're going to have a look at that card shape, which has unfortunately sold out, but is now on an extended number, which is 230607. It's got a show price today, $39.99 with $2.95 UK P&P, because it's not over the £50 threshold. If you want the full collection and you're not worried about that as one of the options that you want, you'll find the full collection on the Carnation Crafts website, 230601. That's got a show price today, or a best price today, of $107.99. To get those best prices, you're going to need to use a 10% discount code, and that will come up through the checkout point. It'll say, do you have a discount code? And that number is CCGC10. So Carnation Craft Gifted Christmas 10. So CCGC10. Put it all into capitals, you'll get 10% off. $2.95 UK P&P if you're not spending £50. If you spend over that, you will get free P&P. Look at that. That's a right corker, that is. That makes me so happy, that colour. It's so nice. That beautiful red. Now I'm going to try and get this off without tearing it. Make my tabs, keeping it flat. I haven't got, you'll notice on this, I haven't got any foam tape. I'm purposefully keeping this flat. If I can get this off, there we go. Just get that to where I want it to be. push, pull. Same again, flat, but this time in that blush pink, because your blush papers, I won't be able to see it so well on camera, but that will suck up all the colour from the red. And it'll give this beautiful tonal contrast that's just pretty, pretty, pretty. And I'm going to add more red because of that ribbon, so you'll see how all of that comes together. And because it's not against stark white, it'll give it a really soft tonal contrast, and contrast is so important. So you'll get that really beautiful tone out. It's more like a washed out colour. It's beautiful. So we're going to do that next. So again, pull these aside. Hey, 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 Tammy Channon, how you doing, lovely? Place that there. I love those blush papers so much. I could not sing their praises enough. There's 3 sets of them on the Carnation website. So you get the blush rose, the blush blue, and the blush natural, which I always call vanilla. And I love the vanilla one. It's or the natural one. It's like a cream, like a churned cream colour. It's beautiful. They just give a bit of extra oomph on it, and I like it a lot. So the elements for my bow, I'm just going to bring these in. I've got bits that you can cut into. I've got bits. See how you've got all your pieces, and we can build, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So I've got those elements there. I've got to make choices. See how if you were wrapping a present and you were to put a ribbon round it, normally speaking, you'll put your ribbon round, and it's often in the center. But sometimes the most beautiful pieces are if you have an elongated present where you put the ribbon higher up. So it'll be your first third, rule of thirds, remember. So that's something that we can do with this. We can play with rule of thirds, or we can just do it in the center, up to you how you want to play. So if I place this down here and place this one here, already we can see it coming together, right? Because it looks like fabric. You can already see, it makes me so happy, this ribbon. You can see it already coming together. Okay. Looks real. It's so clever. Honestly, it took my breath away first time I did that. It looks real. So beautiful. It's so incredibly pretty. Now what I'm going to do when I'm building this, because I don't know where I'm going to need to tuck anything. So as far as me gluing is concerned, all I'm going to do is place glue kind of on the first third, and I'll leave this bit loose. I can glue it later. And I can do that later on, but for now I just want to leave it free, so I'm going to glue those tips. So it's up to you what you do, and I know all of us craft differently, but for me, if I can just hold back a little while until I am absolutely ready to commit, then I'm happy just keeping it in place, because that's not going to shift. It just means that if I need to move that, I can. I'm just giving myself breathing space. So here again, just on those edge points. Doesn't it look real? It looks like fabric. I love it so much. Now, because I've put it up here, you know I was talking to you about the rule of thirds. So if this bottom one goes on the top, I can work as if it's at the top half rather than in the center. So that's what I was trying to explain to you, and why I think it is so effective. And that's what we're going to do for the actual finished demo, is we're going to place these just on that higher edge. So we've got that rule of thirds. So beautiful. Don't you think that's amazing, Taz? Really stunning, isn't it? Place that over there. Just absolutely beautiful. Then I've got my bow. Okay, so we're bringing it all together now. So we're just going to take this, tiny amounts of glue here because I might need to tuck. One there. One there. Okay, I need some tails. One here. I'm just going to tuck it. I don't want to see my workings. Leave that, you'll get your shadow. Tuck again. Remember I said you don't glue it all down? You can tuck and you can work out where you want to be. Now honestly, I think with a little sentiment that is one of the most extraordinary cards ever, but I am going to finish it off with some florals. So I'm going to add some extra elements to it just in the centre of that bow just to bring it out as well. But I honestly think that looks like a piece of ribbon. I think it's so beautiful. But I think just adding in a few of those florals just to give it that finished gift wrap look, I just think is so pretty and such a lovely idea. Got my scissors in case I need to snip anything down, but I just love the idea of doing this because I love when I'm making presents for people, I always love to put extra foliage in with the gift as well. So I love doing stuff like this in real life. So the fact that I get to do it on a card just makes me crazy happy because it's pretty as a picture. So I'm going to place that there, take these two and grab. I'm just going to put that over the centre of that bow point just to have that coloured element, that coloured texture. I think I'm going to put some berries, might put some up that direction, or maybe I'm just going to fill from the bottom. I think just fill from the bottom actually, I think that will make me happier. So just put one there. Because I've got mirrored vignettes, I can turn the other one so I can have it both ways. About there. Now, I don't want to put too much else on, so I'm not going to commit to too much, but I am going to shape this out and I'm going to give it some texture so that it's going to cup. Now I want it to cup this way on the front, not that way. So again, up to you how you want to do. I just want it cupped that way. So in order to do that, I'm going to take my ball tool and I'm going to work from this side, out from the outside, work it round. Once I've got it worked all the way around, I'm going to concentrate on the centre with the smaller part of the ball tool, just to make sure that dome's right in. Make sure that doesn't crease. And then I'm going to use that. So I'm going to put pin flare onto the bottom of it. If I can find my pin flare. Lots of it. I want to raise. And I'm going to cover my workings. I don't want my workings showing. So all this to me is not good on the eye. But place that on. And I think that is extraordinary. Isn't that so beautiful? Gifted Christmas is really special. There's so much that you can do to create so many beautiful cards. I don't know if we've got time for another demo. Have we got time, Mrs. Taz, or not?
10 minutes.
Should we do a quickie? Should we do a clean and simple? Should we do a clean and simple quick card? I'll be quick, but let's try and get 3 done because we only got 1 done in the first show. So I will try and do this. It's going to be a speedy card. There's so much to play with in this collection. Gifted Christmas is special. I mean, most of Carnation's collections are special. They very rarely skip a beat, right? Like everything just works. That's why it's a joy to work with. But when we get things like that one where you make the bow, where you've got things like the panel where you've got the side piece that you can weave and tuck in, it just takes it to another level. There's so many ways of playing. Lots of you saying Gifted Christmas is on its way. A lot of you will have it tomorrow. A lot of you will be playing with this tomorrow. And I'll be crafting with it still. I'll still be doing live demos and you'll be playing with it as well because you'll have it in your hand the same as I've got it in mine. So I'm just going to work quickly on this one because we haven't got a lot of time. Now, because I'm working in a pared back way and I'm trying to do it with something stripped a little bit back, so it won't be fully clean and simple. It won't be just a third taken or less, but it'll be fairly pared back. So I'm just going to put some white on. Now, in order to achieve that, I need to obviously cool those tones down. That's important, but I need the separation. So 3mm foam tape for this, just to give me that height and to create that separation. I know that paper probably just looks very dotty to you, right? Like a dotted paper. It's actually tiny little stars. Each white piece is a tiny star. Super cute. So I'm going to place that here. Right, these. Look at those. White on white, there's something about it. I'll never ever get tired of white on white. Let me just get some fresher glue. So little points, just placing in. There's a bigger piece here, can you see it? And if you put the glue on there, it'll hide it more. You don't need to put glue everywhere. I'm going to bring it in slightly, so I don't want it right in the corner. I could, but I quite like the fact that it sits just proud. See how that shadow plays if it doesn't all stick? I love that. I don't think I'll ever stop being in wonder of shadows. So I'm going to leave those centre points. I want the shadow from some of it. I just don't want it sticking up and getting caught on anything if I was to send it in the post. So I'm sticking the edges down, but I will leave that centre point just to give me a little bit of shadow. So one in each corner. Now, for those of you who have crafted with me for a while, you know I love my diagonal in the centre, because visually what we do is we're framing that, right? Those two pieces immediately take us to the centre of the card. They give us that diagonal here. I can play with that diagonal, or I can change it round. And in order to change it round, I can add in something that's got length. So if I wanted to place in, let's just say, some florals, I'm not going to, but just say I wanted to, I could place those diagonally. I'd need some more florals, but you know what I mean. I could place them diagonally and they'll look beautiful, but I can change it. I can elongate it by using something that is longer. So I can leave the tree that length, I can pull it slightly, or I can elongate it to its full potential. Now I'm going to keep it a little bit shorter this time, so about there I'm happy with, just enough to give me some shadow, and that's the joy of this tree. I get to do that. It's just really easy to play with and to create dimension with. Curl those round. Now I could theoretically go in with pin flare. We don't have a lot of time for this demonstration, obviously, but what I will say to you, one of the things you can do with this, and it's beautiful for, if you use pin flare here, 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 and use white glue on the edges, you'll be able to get a raise in the center, and you'll be able to get the bottom stuck, so it'll dome beautifully round. Really gorgeous way of playing with it, and hopefully as we demo over the next couple of days, I'll be able to show you that more in full. So we're just going to place this as we did before, a little bit on the bottom, get my placement where I want it to be, just about there. Sorry about this, guys, we're speed crafting a little bit. Make sure it's roughly central. Okay, doke, I think I'm quite happy with that. Now you can obviously glue down edges. I think I'll glue down these two on this one, just on that bottom piece, so that the top sticks up even more to create more shadow. To be honest, guys, you could leave it like that. How cute is that? See that dimension? Really sweet. Now what I'm going to do is put some decorations on there, and then a couple of extra little elements, and that's it. That's all we need. Now I've got what I've got here, so I'll stick a few down. We don't have a lot of time, so I might not get all of these down, but where that star is at the top with that little bit of yellow, I'm just going to put a little bit more colour on here with that diamond. So just adding a tiny splash of colour to the top of that. Still looks like the star on the top of the tree, but it just adds a bit more oomph to the colour. And then I'm going to go in with these, and I'll be quick. Just placing in. Oh, it's very quiet, isn't it? Now Mr. Davy B's gone. Bless him. Right. Some more as we go further down. You can play, obviously, with how you would want these to look. I'm just being as quick as possible. Do you enjoy decorating your tree, Miss Taz?
I'm not allowed to do it.
You're not allowed. Full stop. End of. No.
Oh, would you trust me doing it?
Nope. Not for a second. Not my tree, anyway. I don't trust anyone to do my tree. I get a little bit, you know, what's the word?
OCD.
Well, a little bit protective of my tree. Let's put it that way. Which, funnily enough, my mum did as well when we were kids, so maybe that's why. It's one of those things. So I'm just putting a few of these in. Obviously, you will do yours with more care as to where you're putting them. I'm just trying to get this done because we are short on time. Hey up! Bah, heck. I'm just going to push that down. There we go. Doesn't help when they get stuck to your fingers, Miss Tiz Taz. It doesn't help when they get stuck to your fingers.
You have become the Christmas tree.
I am the Christmas tree. I just put one more red there. It's going to annoy me because there should be one there. But it'll be okay. Jacqueline, I've got two. One that the grandchildren can decorate and one I do myself. That sounds like the perfect way around it.
That's what happens to me.
Is that what happens to you?
Yeah.
Is there a special Taz one? My children aren't bothered. They don't want to decorate it. So it saves the argument, really. Right, let me put that there. There. Right, now let's play with these little bows because I love them. I'm going to take 4. These may not be the neatest, I warn you, but just because we are running low. So what I'm going to do is space these. I've got that bow there. I'm going to put this one straight on top, but just overlapping. I'm going to take another gold. Overlap. Fan that out a little bit, and then the final red one. And then I'm just going to use my hands to just bring that forward. I'm going to take a little bit of pin flare. And I'm going to stick it as a rosette in the corner of the card. Oh, there you go. And I'm going to do the same with the one at the bottom, just to add in that pop of colour. I like it without, I'll be totally honest, but just for those of you who like a little bit of extra placing on your cards. Gold. Overlap just slightly on those little bows. Then gold. And then one final one. Build that rosette in, take your thumb and your finger, push so it domes out around your hand. So you've got your little rosette, pin flare on the bottom. White on white with just little pops of colour. Very, very sweet and not in your face at all. And you can see how those reds, when they're paired, look at that. That's stunning. That I think is one of my favourite out of you know, the doings. Gifted Christmas, it's selling fast, guys. We are fast running out of stock. Obviously it was never going to be a surprise, was it? You've got a show price today. Best price $107.99, but you are going to have to use the code CCGC10 when you go to checkout, and that's all in capital letters. You'll find it on the Carnation Crafts website, 230601. That's the Gifted Christmas collection. Your artwork will be available to download tomorrow from the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk, but it won't be available until then. For those of you who ordered your gifted Christmas either yesterday or today, you'll find it arriving through your letterbox tomorrow, hopefully. There are other things as well that you can look at. That Christmas tree that I know loads of you have now fallen in love with, putting up the tree, is also on the Carnation Crafts website. It can be bought separately. Would you know the number for the tree, Taz? The putting up the tree, there you go, 230609, 17.99 for the tree, and your decorations, 2.95 UK P&P if that's the only thing that you buy. Your beautiful debossing plate, that stunning debossing plate, which I love so much, 230608 on the Carnation Crafts website, 24.99, 2.95 P&P. But for all of you, if you've bought this, please don't forget your perfect papers. They're stunning. They match exactly with everything that you're going to buy, and you'll find those 230610 14.99 on the website, and you'll also get a 2.95 P&P if that's the only thing you buy. Whenever you spend 50 or over, you will get that for free. Now, we are going to be back with you actually at 1 o'clock, and then we are also with you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock and again at 12 o'clock. Just to remind you all while you're here, tomorrow at the end of the 12 o'clock show, so nearer to 1 p.m, we have got a very special announcement for you. That'll be with me and Miss Taz, but you'll have to tune in to see it, I'm afraid. And it's going to be very exciting. So until then, you'll just have to put up with me and my demos, because Mr. Dave has gone home, but we will be back with you in an hour. Have a nice lunch, and we'll see you at the other side. Take care. Bye.